In example number 1, under the part 2 of the video on isotopes, the part 2 of the video. If you have not watched the part 2, please endeavor to watch the part 1, endeavor to watch it. Calculate the relative atomic mass of chlorine, which has isotopes of these with Cl35, meaning the chlorine with the atomic mass of 35 occurring in 75% abundance in the element. This is so easy to do this calculation. All you need to know is this simple formula, that the atomic mass unit is equal to M1 P1 plus M2 P2. Please, at the course of this part 2 of this video, I will, using my experience, there are only like 4 or 5 ways of asking these questions on isotopes, and you need to know how to solve all of them. So make sure that this video you are with me. Now, like I said, the atomic mass unit is equal to, this is the mass of the first element, the percentage abundance of the first. This is the mass of the second element, the atomic mass of the second element, and times the relative abundance. Sometimes we call it the percentage, relative abundance of the element 2. Now, from this question they gave you, it's very simple. You can see that you have the first element here. We have the first element, we have the second element. And the first element you have, the first atom they gave you there is Cl17, and you have 37. The second one is Cl with the atomic mass of 17 and what? 35. Now, then I said this second one has a relative abundance of 75. Please always know that the P1, which is a percentage, is always given in percentage. And so they gave you P2, right? From the question there, they said the chlorine with the atomic mass of 35 occurring in 75%. Now, I wanted to write this thing down so that you can jot it down. P1 and P2 is the fractional abundance of each isotopes, and the M1 and M2 is the mass number of each isotope. And that is why I just put them in table so that you not be confused. Now, they gave you the fractional, the abundance of this isotope to be what? 75. Please note this, 75%. Whenever you are giving something in percent, it simply means 75 over 100, which is what? 0.75. Now, please note this, that in isotope, P1 plus P2 must be equals to 1. Note this, because the next example I'll be solving on this video, I'm going to use this formula. I said in isotope, because your percentage, when you plus the 2%, you must get 1. Now, if they gave you 1%, they have already given you the other. You can see from this one, you were being the second, they gave you only the percentage abundance of the second the element, which is 75. Now, and I said that if you plus the 2, you are supposed to get 1. So it means if you already have P2, P1 is 1 minus P2. So 1 minus your P2 is 0.75. That means that your P1 is 0.25. Can you see it? Now, if you plus 0.25 plus 0.75, you will get a total of 1. Now, all I have to do right now is to substitute all this thing into my formula above, and the answer will flow naturally. Look at what I'm saying. You already have the mass number. Now, you have your P1. Let me clean this. Let me clean it like this. Now, from here, your M1 is 37. Your P1 is 0.25, right? Plus your M2 is the mass of this one, which is 35, times your P2 is 0.75. If you plug these two values together, you will get 35.5. And that is the atomic mass unit. That is the atomic mass unit. It's actually raining, so the second example, an element A exists as two atoms. You can see it at the board. A sample of this element, so the two atoms are, you have A here, so this is, the mass is 5, the atomic number is 5, and this, the mass is 10. And then you have another A with the mass number of 11 and atomic number of 5. Now a sample of this element contains 20% of this. So the one that have 10 and 5 is 20%. Now, so this atom have 20%, and they want to calculate the relative atomic mass of A. And we already said that the relative atomic mass or atomic mass unit is equal to M1 P1 plus M2 P2. Now remember I said that at the end that P1 plus P2 must be equals to 1, and that whenever you have a percentage like 20%, that 20% is over 100, which will give you 0.2. Now remember, this is 1 and then this is 2. So automatically your P1 is 0.2. Now you were not given P2, but you can find P2 using this formula that P1 plus P2 is equals to 1. Now the P2 will now be equals to 1 minus P1. So P2 is 1 minus 0.2, which is what? 0.8. This is so easy. So all you need to do right now is insert it into this formula and your answer will flow naturally. So this is the atomic mass unit is M1 is 10 times your P1 is 0.2 plus the mass number of M2 is 11 times 0.8. If you times those things together, you plus it to times it. So the total answer it should give you is 10.8. Because this will give you 2 plus 8.8. So your total answer should be 10.8. Like I said, this is so easy. Your total answer, let me write it here. This should give you 10.8. Let's go to the next example.